In order to get a consistent set of imagery for our growing 2A history project, we draw cartoons of Second Amendment advocates. We draw these live during our daily gun show podcast and sometimes in multi-hour marathon live chats we call 2A media workshops. Our goal is to share the skills and techniques and the software that we use to create these and to inspire others to create Second Amendment content. In this series, we'll speed up the drawing of these cartoons so it's almost animated, and we'll focus on the activists and the projects that they represent.
This time we're watching the drawing of Holly Sullivan. So Holly Sullivan is the president of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League. She's the only female president of a state-level 2A organization at this point. And she's also the Connecticut delegate for the DC project, in addition to being the Northeast Regional Director for that DC project. So in this video, we're taking a look at drawing Holly. Now, I've probably been in the same room with Holly before. I'm sure I might even have seen her on a stage, but I have never been introduced or met her. So, but watching enough videos of people, you kind of can get used to seeing them. So I drew this thing and I included it in here. I drew the first version, let's call it the first version of the cartoon. And this is their photograph from the DC project. So it's sort of like an official photo. And when I got all done, it just didn't look like Holly. It just looked like some lady. So occasionally I will attempt to fix an issue if there's something wrong with an element or something. But in this case, I've been a little rusty. I haven't done these in a while. And I figured instead of trying to edit or fix, I would just start over. So a little bit slower here. We're going to go through the same thing. I just start with the photograph and then lay it next to itself. I take one of the two versions and create transparency so that it fades away, so that when I draw over it, I can see my lines. And then I start to trace, just like if it was a piece of tracing paper and I was drawing with a pencil, only I'm doing it with a mouse. And at some point I might switch over to a tablet, but at this point I'm just using a mouse. I am using a mouse with a lot of pixels, like it's a mouse that the kids use for their video games. And that gives it a lot of accuracy. So it's like having a fine ballpoint pen or a fine point pencil, and it allows me to go slow and get the kind of throttle or speed on that mouse that gives me the lines and stuff that at least I become used to. I do suspect having a pen would be a little easier to draw with, but make do with what we've got. Now, first thing I'll do is I'll make a layer in the software and then put the photographs on that layer, take another layer on top of that one, start to draw those lines. And when I'm done with the lines, what we're doing now is adding the color. So I'll just add a third layer and put it between the lines and the photograph, so that as I add the color, it literally goes underneath the lines and it helps make it go a little quicker. It also goes on top of the image, so we get to start to see kind of layer on itself. So it's a lot like coloring. So it's basically I trace and then it's like coloring in a coloring book, except instead of the focus being something stupid, it is 2A activists. So in this case, it's the photograph for Holly Sullivan, the president of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League. This is her photograph from the DC project. And the DC project is ladies who are going to DC to talk to representatives to change the face of firearms ownership. And they're doing an awesome job. Holly is the Connecticut delegate for the project, as well as the Northeast Regional Director. As the president of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League, she is the only female president of a state-level 2A organization. So with that, we will end this one. Leave us some comments if you would. Until next time, thanks for watching. So thank you for tuning in to another in our series of drawing the 2A activists. Stay tuned for this cartoon and lots more to be used on our various 2A history projects. Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel. Thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.